ask you to leave him alone. Now, I acknowledge that I'm unfamiliar with your circumstances, but at first glance, your treatment of this man appears unfair, and I'm obliged to intervene.
What's up, guys? Benny. Congratulations, chat. You were right again. Years ago, there was a trend to hold up signs that said CNN is ISIS live on CNN airwaves. This trended all across X, CNN's ISIS trends, as Trump supporters heckle network. Trump supporters would run into CNN camera shots and hold up CNN is ISIS signs. These are some of what they look like. CNN is ISIS. Here's CNN doing an interview with the CNN is ISIS sign in the background. Love to see it, and so proud of you. Little did you know that, well, Trump was right again. Trump supporters were right again. The internet was right again. And the chat was, of course, right, because CNN is ISIS, meaning CNN is in favor of terrorist organizations and doing PR for them. CNN roasted for interviewing Sinaloa cartel gangster, asking how he felt about Trump labeling him a terrorist. Should I be laughing at that? I shouldn't be laughing at that. Okay, all right. So what happened? They found some, well, let's see. This typically not the good guys, right? Like, who dress like this. And CNN went and found a Sinaloa cartel member. You know, the guys that leave, like, the severed heads on the turtles, right? Who do all the child trafficking. Those guys. The individuals who've turned Mexico into, like, a third world, fourth world, sort of like terror prison. Yeah, CNN is being mocked for sympathetically asking Mexican cartel gangbanger how he feels about President Trump. But the amazing thing about this is that when asked how he feels about Trump, the gangbanger for the Sinaloa cartel is like, love that guy, actually. I respect Trump. Isn't that amazing? Gangsters respect Trump. They don't respect CNN, and CNN is getting roasted for this.
I mean, according to the Trump administration, you are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization. What do you make of that?
Está fea la situación, ¿verdad? Está fea la situación, pero pues de todos modos tenemos que comer.
What's your message to Donald Trump, if he's watching this?
Mis respetos, él tiene que según él, buscar lo mejor para los suyos. Pero el detalle que ya están los consumidores, ¿no? Si no hubiera consumidores, pues uno le parara.
So this is actually an amazing response here. So evil CNN is doing literal propaganda for the terrorist cartels. CNN is doing propaganda for the cartels, asking how they feel about the way Trump is treating them. If you wondered what banality of evil looks like in 2025, this is CNN. CNN can't even get Mexican cartel members to bash Trump. CNN has drawn a barrage of criticism for interviewing a drug cartel member who claimed to have respect for Trump. Unbelievable. CNN gives a Sinaloa cartel member a chance to throw a pity party, being labeled a terrorist. CNN is ISIS. You know, literally, CNN is ISIS. Reporter Isabel Ying asks a masked Sinaloa cartel member to send a message to Trump. My respect. He's looking out for his people. CNN interviews Sinaloa cartel members. Instant backfire. Not the answer they were looking for. Amazing. CNN full meltdown mode. Their usual smear tactics have failed again. So what's the next brilliant move? Interviewing a freaking Sinaloa cartel member to hear Trump is evil. Please tell that. What was the plan here? What did they hope for? They thought they were going to get some type of sympathy for the Sinaloa cartel. The cartel members are siding with Trump. It's amazing. CNN is ISIS. Terror! CNN caught trying to humanize cartel leader, attempting to bait him into explaining how Trump is making his job harder by calling him a terrorist. Sinaloa leader humiliated the reporter. Amazing. Why are Democrats trying to normalize cartel and MS-13? Well, you know exactly why. CNN should have to file a FAR report for working for foreign terrorist entities like the Sinaloa cartel. That's exactly right. What do they do? I mean, what this is it's just total desperation. CNN is just an absolute and total collapse here. Fox News is dominating. CNN fell below 500,000 total viewers and over 100,000 in the coveted 25 to 54 age range. They have less than 100,000 viewers. This video will do more than 100,000 viewers, right? Please. And, well, that's just, I mean, that on average, the channel does more than 100,000 views per video. And in fact, it's closer to 200,000 views. So we're bigger than CNN. CNN is ISIS. Look at this. Look at these demos. It's so bad. Look at, jeez. Look at these demos for CNN. You have 500,000. Look at this is CNN. So there's 80,000 people watching. 80,000 people. That's insane. We have live stream numbers that are approximately that. You know, on a really big show, you can get 80, 100,000 people depending on the news cycle. And here CNN has multiple shows with 40,000. We can do that on a regular show. That's incredible. Jeez. You want to know what real news looks like on CNN, and you want to see the difference between how CNN treats a terrorist and how the Trump administration treats these terrorists, check out Stephen Miller just doing God's work on CNN, explaining to the CNN propagandist exactly what will happen to terrorists in this country. Too bad there wasn't a CNN is ISIS sign behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, this never gets old. Watch Stephen Miller cook.
And relief.
I don't speak for the White House. You are here to speak
I will
for
do.
You're here to speak for the White House.
I
just want you to answer that one simple question.
I am.
Okay?
Ready? Here we go. Under a proper reading of the Constitution, district court judges provide relief to individual plaintiffs seeking relief. District court judges do not have the authority, as a general matter, to enjoin the functioning of the executive branch, but their authority is at its lowest point when the president is exercising his powers as commander-in-chief. And I asked you a question, you never answered it. Can a judge enjoin troop movements overseas? Can a district court judge enjoin troop movements overseas?
Stephen,
yes or no?
I am not going to get into the
just say no, and then you'll know that I'm right.
This is a
just
separate
say no,
question,
and you'll know that
Stephen.
I'm right.
Okay, we're not talking about other troops overseas.
President,
I need to ask you about something else.
The president issued a proclamation delineating in detail how the Venezuelan regime sent this gang, this terrorist organization, to our shores. And by the way, and I love being here, but all the outrage that we are seeing from the Democrat Party and from the corporate media, none of that outrage was expressed when little Jocelyn Nungare was tortured and beaten to death. None of that outrage was expressed when our nation was flooded by illegal aliens.
I have just been simply trying to get a simple answer to a simple question. No outrage necessary about whether or not the White House is ahead of the court.
But I am.
But I need to ask you one more question. I'm going to have to let you go.
Democrats defending Trinidad instead of celebrating President Trump expelling these terrorists from our midst. And I'm glad for the opportunity to explain how the separation of powers does work. If the president has to litigate every national security action with 700 district court judges, then we don't have a functioning democracy.
Let me ask you one other question.